What is happening, everybody? I am the Architect, and today I am back behind the camera in front of my bookshelf, which means it is time for my monthly reading log video for the month of January of 2021. Now, before I start, I do have to apologize for not putting out a ton of videos this month. It was a combination of me being sick and just procrastination. I did manage to get my collection video out, but even then I was in the middle of a pretty bad chest cold. But I'm better now. I'm feeling good and I'm ready to get back into making regular content, so I hope you guys stick around for that. But if you're new to this channel, I post weekly manga related videos, usually. So if you like the video and are interested in that sort of thing, go ahead and drop me a like and bop the subscribe button on the way out. But don't forget to ring the bell, that way you get notified whenever I post something new. And hopefully it'll be more frequent than before. The links to all my social media and my Rise of Affiliate link are down in the description below if you're interested in that sort of thing. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the manga. Now, with me being down sick a few days, it did allow me to read quite a bit of stuff. I'm only going to talk about 5 series in this. They were just basically the best 5 things that I read this month. Just to keep the video more concise. We're going to start that off with this Golden Kamuy Volume 2. Guys, you have no idea how happy I was to finally be able to read this. Well, actually, you probably do if you've been around long enough and you've seen the plight that it took on me to try to get this volume in hand. But Golden Kamuy is just such an enjoyable series so far. It's got a weird combination of just violent action and wholesomeness. It's really hard to describe it because, I mean, in one chapter you could have like this really intense battle and bear attacks and such, and then the next it could just be Sugimoto and Aspira just sitting down eating dinner. And let me tell you, the food in here looks pretty good. Even if the ingredients are less than appealing, it still looks and sounds good. But yeah, so far this series has a lot to offer. It's funny at times, it's very action-packed, and again, like Aspira and Sugimoto, they are just such a wholesome duo. Sugimoto got to meet her family in this volume, and I'm so glad I have so much of this series. I'm going to be binging it probably maybe starting tonight, who knows. Plus the covers, these are some of the best covers in manga that I've seen. Man, I love how the title goes up the sides there, and just the images on the front and back are just wonderful. So yeah, Golden Kamuy, I have a feeling is going to be, it's a strong candidate for one of my top 5 manga or top 10 manga this year. I think it's already going to be on that list somewhere because I am really enjoying this so far. It's still early on, but I like it. And the next thing I read this month was Volume 0 of Jujutsu Kaisen. This is a unique thing. I've never really seen a series have a Volume 0. I mean, it's a prequel to the events of the first volume, obviously, but it is interesting. This story follows Yuta Okotsu, who is a guy who got cursed by someone who died who was very close to him, and it was a super, like, extremely powerful curse to where Gojo had to basically step in and mentor this guy and kind of direct him through this. And it's a nice little side story. I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to read this in order to understand the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, but it is a nice little side story. Apparently the mangaka here, Gege Akutami, he put a little note in the back saying that by the time he got this done and published, he wasn't even really trying to get Jujutsu Kaisen into Shonen Jump. So this was basically like it was almost like a pilot, I guess. That's the closest thing I can think of in terms of like a TV show. It's like a pilot. This was just the initial story for him to get his concepts down, and it's a nice little side story. Again, it's not really necessary for the rest of the series, but it is good, and you get to, it is a cool introduction to some of the side characters like Panda and Maki. Inumaki kind of shines in this volume, which I'm a big fan of Inumaki. I think he's one of the coolest guys with one of the coolest powers, really. I mean, just being able to yell something at someone and it just happens to him. I mean, isn't that like the best power you can get? I mean, yeah, there's a whole thing about if he uses it too much, then his voice goes bad or whatever. But and also the point that he can't really say anything except for, like, was it like rice ball ingredients or whatever. Anyway, man, it's still kind of cool, and it's a nice little addition to the series. You know, again, it's not necessary, but it's a nice little pickup if you want to see what was going through like Akutami's mind as he was coming up with the story and everything. So it's a nice little addition, and I really enjoyed it. The next series that I read this month was something I've been wanting to get into for a while, and it's volume 1 of Noragami. Now, I had heard about this series for a while, heard really good things, knew a little bit about the anime, but not a whole lot, so I wanted to break into this. I got this, I think in my last haul, I got it for a pretty good deal, used. I mean, as you can tell, the quality's still pretty good. But this story is pretty interesting, and it's kind of funny. Yato is a homeless god with like no shrine, no followers, just kind of a pathetic god who literally put his number on a bathroom stall, and so just hoping that anybody would be able to see it and call him for help. And then this one girl does, and she's getting bullied and stuff, so he tries to help her, but doesn't really. I mean, he's pretty kind of full of himself, so anytime he thinks he helps somebody, it makes him feel good, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a funny series. This is a pretty well-known series, I think, so I don't think I have to say too much about it. I will say that I'm going to be reading the rest of the series, or the rest of the other volumes this month, and see if I want to pick up more. It's pretty funny first volume, a little bit of action. I think the action's probably going to pick up later on, because everything I've seen clips of the anime, and it seems like it can get kind of crazy sometimes. So it's a nice little read, though, and yeah, I'm going to be checking out what I got and see where it goes. So there you go, Noragami. It's got my approval so far. And next up, I read the first 2 volumes of Livingstone. Now, this is a series that I do plan on doing a full review of soon. I only read the first 2 volumes so far, but once I get it done, I want to do a whole video on this. I've mentioned how I wanted to get into this because it was from the creator of Dead Man Wonderland, which is a series I still want to collect the manga from. I've seen the only season of the anime, and I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought the season ended on a weird point, and then it never got another season, and it's a whole thing, but that's not this. This is Livingstone. Livingstone is very, very unique concept right now. I mean, the idea that, I won't go into it too much because I do want to do a full review, but basically there's a world where everybody's lives are predetermined, and by some kind of, I think they call it a soul plan, and if someone gets off of their soul plan or gets to a point where they're going to die before they're supposed to, or die in weird ways, these guys step in and try to either get them back on track, or if they can't, then they want to try to transfer their souls basically to another person, or just preserve it so it can be passed on. It's very interesting. I don't want to go too much into it because I do want to do a full review of it. Apparently this was based off of like a short play in Japan, so the concept is fascinating, honestly, and I'm gonna do a whole video on it once I get it done. But if you want to read the synopsis, you can pause to read that. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole thing on this. So so far I'm enjoying it. You'll hear more about this in the future, but so far not too bad. I'll have some things to say about it later. And finally, the last thing that I read for the month of January is something that I think is quickly going to become one of my favorites, and that is Happiness by Shuzo Oshimi. I talked about this a little bit in my haul when I got it, but Shuzo Oshimi's name has been going around a lot in the manga community. He's had several works. You see the Flowers of Evil up here, also Blood on the Tracks, Inside Mari, and 1 or 2 others. I wanted to get into his work, and I felt like Happiness was going to be a good starting point for me. And boy, yeah, I think I made the right choice, man. This is so good. It basically follows this one kid who one night gets attacked by this vampire girl. He doesn't know it's a vampire, but it's, she bites him in the neck. And then he slowly starts becoming one himself. And just the idea of dealing with this new situation while he's in school and hanging out with friends and meeting new people, whatever. But this series so far has blown me away. Not just with the story. The story's been very, very good, but I think the artwork has really stood out. For example, there's a moment in this first volume where he starts to become overwhelmed with a scent or something like this, and he gets real dizzy, and Oshimi draws it like this with the wavy lines, and you really start to kind of get into his head in this situation. And oh my gosh, dude. Okay, this series is going to be something special for me. I think I'm gonna get the rest of the volumes as a 10-volume series. I have 4 I'm going to be getting into the rest of it eventually, and then probably more work from Shuzo Oshimi. I think it's possible he might become my favorite mangaka by the end of this. I just, and really I have to say real quick, if I can just take an aside, I have one volume that's still in the shrink wrap, but this cover is insane. I know people have been doing videos recently, at least some YouTubers have been doing videos about their favorite covers in manga. I might do a video like that if you guys want to check it out, because this is going to be on it. I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, this is going to be on it if I do a video like that, because this is just, it's beautiful. Honestly, it's so crazy how that is. So yeah, I am loving this series so far. I'm going to buy the rest of it probably in February and binge it. And I might do a video on this because, again, it blew me away. So I really can't wait to read the rest of this. So, it's just so good. So there you have it, guys, my reading log for the month of January of 2021. I would love to hear what you guys have been reading, so go ahead and drop that in the comments section below. I love reading your comments. That's like my favorite thing to do with doing these videos, is just reading and responding to your comments. So go ahead and drop that down there. If you have any recommendations for stuff you want me to check out, I'm all for new stuff, so go ahead and do that as well. Look forward to my manga haul coming up soon in a few days. I'm waiting for one massive package. Massive package. One massive box of manga that I'm going to be unboxing for my next haul. So look forward to that. Also, just so you know, I'm getting very close to 500 subs, which is crazy to me. But I am thinking about doing something special for that. I haven't decided what yet. It'll probably be another giveaway and possibly a Q&A video, but I haven't been decided. Nothing's set in stone yet. So just, but I just want to let you know, I'm getting kind of close to that, and you know, it's kind of crazy, man. But you know, we'll talk about that when we get there. But until next time, I am the Architect, and I'll see you in the next video.